Welcome, adventurers, to a realm where imagination knows no bounds, and the fate of kingdoms hangs in the balance. Gather round as we embark on an epic journey through the realms of Dungeons and Dragons, where heroes are forged and legends are born. Join us as we delve deep into dungeons teeming with danger, traverse ancient forests alive with magic, and confront the darkest evils threatening the land. With each roll of the dice, the story unfolds, shaped by the decisions of our intrepid band of adventurers. Will they emerge triumphant, or will they fall to the perils that lurk in the shadows? So grab your sword, ready your spells, and prepare for an unforgettable journey into the heart of adventure. Welcome to the Mystic Syndicate's A Princess of Celene, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast, where the only limit is your imagination.
We're live. Hi everybody. All right, so once again, we are back here at Mystic Syndicate with the Drunkards and Dragons crew getting ready to embark on session 11 of the Princess of Celene campaign. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's had a nice week so far. Oh, man. Ooh. 11 sessions. Here we are. 11. This is great. So,
Doesn't seem like 11.
yeah, I know, right? I mean,
it seems just yesterday we lost that stupid Kinder.
Just like yesterday.
Yes. That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry. I'm sure he may show up again one day.
I'm hoping.
All right. Well, I'm your Dungeon Master, Brian, and we're going to kick off like normal with introductions, starting with Melinda up there at the top left.
I always switch my cue off. Done. I'm Melinda. I play Grenna Babbleboots, who's a Gnome and Ranger, and her pet ward, Bubbles.
I am Squire Thomas Waverly, the technically challenged. So keep on going while I'm trying to get into the game with the right account.
Wait, aren't you Tomas? Did your brother replace you?
Well, it was muffled.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to assume he was being one of my students today.
I'm not even going to touch that one.
Oh, we found something Ed wouldn't do. Holy cow!
It's being recorded.
Oh, well, that's right.
There'll be evidence.
Right. You're already on enough lists.
I would agree with this.
Aren't we all?
No.
Yes.
Next.
Yes, you are.
I think it's your turn, Mike.
Mike?
Oh, I'm not usually in this spot. How'd that happen? I'm Mike. I'm playing Kiffi Blackhammer. I'm a dwarven cleric of Fortubo.
Hello, I'm Pav. I play Kelex Zelenen, a Paladin of Heironious.
I'm Russ. I'm playing Járngrímur töframaður Halldórsson, who is a fire mage. Yeah!
And I'm Glenn. I am playing Timble, Snivenblaven, and I am an artist.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so the last time that we were all together, you all had escaped Codall Keep with the Margrave in hand and had made your way back to the city of Pellic using magical means of transportation. You were, of course, successful in your mission. And I believe the last time we left off, you had pretty much just gotten settled back into the castle on the that evening that you had arrived back. And so I think we're going to pick it up there unless you have any questions, anything. I think everybody's good.
I have one.
Okay.
Did anything happen with that note?
That's a good question. You're going to have to remind me what the note.
The note and the mouse.
The note and the mouse. Oh, yes. The note and the mouse. Yeah, I'll get back with you on the note and the mouse.
Roger that.
So yeah, that's good. That's actually going to be part of the storyline. Okay, so you all have a very restful sleep, being that instead of sleeping on either a cold stone floor, which actually all of you did, some of you were a little bit more bloodied and battered than the others, but you have been able to clean yourself up enough, and you rest easier in a nice, comfortable bed with actual blankets and real pillows instead of just using your backpacks as to rest your head. So you have the next day. You rise. Actually, servants knock on your doors, and actually servants of the castle, and they bring you in some fresh clothing, light fare, stuff like that. Something like drinks and things of that nature to start your day. And of course, they inform you that you are to actually dine with the Margrave and Lady Ilia for breakfast. So, let me know what you're going to do.
I allowed the servants to pamper me.
Okay. They're probably not going to help you dress, but I mean it's a little bit different than. Kind of thinking about it, if you really kind of look back at it, especially in the 16th, 17th century sort of deal, usually people had help getting dressed, especially ladies. Yeah. I mean, after you put on so many petticoats and then the dress over top of it and all the other things. So, but I mean, even gentlemen had a valet or a footman, or to aid you in getting prepared, especially if you're going to be going to court. So that is completely fine, Tomas. You have
dressed for it.
You're ready to go.
Okay, I guess I probably better wipe some of my blood off of my armor before we go.
So what are you trying to say there, Kiffi?
I may or may not have gotten curb stomped last time. I'm sure there's some evidence of that.
Is this a long rest?
Yes, it is considered a long rest. Yes.
Thank you.
In my land, we have these techniques that we call duck.
Yeah, and in my land, we usually just resort to heavy armor, which I'm gonna do here as soon as we have the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I learned this week? Wizards can use crossbows.
Interesting.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Is that something you're going to take upon yourself to acquire?
No, he was throwing some stupid build ideas out earlier too. So we won't even talk about those.
Oh, okay.
And for the record, I've learned about your land harbor, and I heard they're called Kegel exercises when you're relaxing.
Oh my goodness!
Ouch! Damn.
No. That's Mogul.
It's all strong.
Okay. So you finished dressing and preparing, wiping blood off of your armor, making sure that you look at least somewhat presentable, and you make your way downstairs to the to the dining room area. When you walk in, it's very similar to what you would kind of expect, especially like in a medieval scenario. You have like one very large table where the regents and their aides would sit, and then there's other smaller tables away from them that usually other people of court and the like would actually sit. Right now, there's no one else sitting at the other tables, and so you are going to be seated at the main table with the Margrave and Lady Ilia.
Are they already there?
They are already there, and when they see you, walk in, they rise from their chairs. Servants pull your chairs out for you, and then everybody sits down pretty much about the same time. And
We'll at least bow to the Margrave and the lady before he sits.
Yeah.
Right.
As we're walking in, I'm behind Tomas and interfering with his feet with my staff.
Okay. So Tomas, I need you to make a dexterity.
I was already doing it.
Jeez.
Okay. So yeah. Well, being that this is not a malicious sort of thing, I usually
I'm
look
sure
at
it is.
Yeah, you actually do feel that there is something hitting like the inside of your feet, like the ankles and things of that nature, but you maintain your composure and do not trip or make a fool of yourself. But you do realize who it is behind you as he's kind of just giggling under his breath.
I haven't felt movement inside my thighs like that since the last time his mother was over.
My mother was a pure woman.
She had a shallow cervix too.
Wow. Glad this is an 18+ stream. Okay.
Sorry,
How
we just
could it
watched,
not be?
Yeah.
just watched the We're the Millers. If anybody's
He's
watching,
not a lesser son of a lesser lord.
Steph just said that she hopes her boss doesn't watch this one.
Oh. Okay. Great.
Moving forward. Your Grace.
Okay.
Your Grace, and I bow and I take my seat.
Yes, they acknowledge your presence. Like I said, the servants are pulling your chairs out for you. You sit, and they push them back in for you. And they start bringing out food and things. Your plates are already there. There is fruit juices as well as more lighter alcoholic type of beverages, beer primarily. Nothing extreme. Yeah, there you go. But yes. And as you're waiting for of course everyone to be served, and finally the servants stop in their efforts, and the Margrave looks to you all and says, I have to say this. Excellent work. You all have truly proven yourselves as loyal subjects. And I am not going to let this go unrewarded.
Unpunished?
He just kind of chuckles at that. He's like, yeah, no, not that. As he says, so I have something special planned for you, and I hope that you will accept my humble gratitude in this endeavor. And he raises his glass to you and says, to those who braved untold danger to drag me from that cell, I salute you. And he holds out his glass to as you're tinkling glasses, and gives you gives a turn up. And he says, "Let's eat. This looks good." And he starts diving in. It's been a while since he had actually had like a really decent meal. So, being cooped up there in Kodal Keep. And of course, you guys have just been living off of rations the last few days. So to see eggs and ham and bacon and sausages of different types is definitely something good. And he said, "Now I know that there's at least a few of you here who are in my army. I am not planning on sending you anywhere anytime soon. You have done me a great service, and so I am putting you all pretty much on a leave at this point in time. I hope you're fine with that. Good news has came from the front. We have actually stabilized the front, and we are holding. This is extremely good news for us. Now, we have been informed recently that our allies in Celene have answered the call. So you will see more elves around here wearing the gold and green. So that in itself is excellent news. Now,
Kelex, he perks up about this. So
yeah, he continues and says, "Now, of course, this is only one of our allies. We are looking to secure more, of course, and I may be calling upon you to be my ambassadors. But at this point in time, I feel I need to keep you close, at least for some time." All the while, you can see that Ilya is just sort of, not really saying much. She's just, nodding in agreement. Every once in a while, Timble, you make eye contact with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she eventually she does it and says, "Master Timble, do you? I can't remember if you did or not. It's been some time. I know that you had produced some masterpiece for us."
I had completed one, but in light of what has transpired, I would like to have time to recompose.
You see the Margrave kind of shoot her a really quick look and said, "What is this masterpiece you speak of?" And she says, "Well, it was supposed to be a present." And he just looks at her and says, Is this the fine artist that you hired?" And he just kind of turns and gives you a real quick smile, Timble. And she says,
"Well, I'll stand and bow and sit back down."
He says, "I was kind of wondering why he was sticking so close to me on the field. I should have known it was you were up to something. Interesting."
Always.
Yeah, so he says, "Well, I, for one, understand why you might have needed a little bit more time to work on it, being that you put yourself in harm's way to make sure that your masterpiece had a subject that was still alive." And,
there was that. It sort of changes the matter.
Completely. So yeah, he just kind of chuckles it off and stuff like that, and she also gives you a smile, like she understands the situation. But also you kind of realize that, like, you've lost pretty much a lot of things when you were put in that cell, and you're you bristle at the whole thing, because there were a lot of things in your pack that were
There were a lot of notes and special things.
Yeah, there were some special things laying around in there, so you're you bristle at that a little bit, but then again, you also kind of realize that you were lucky to have got out with your life.
There are things that can be replaced.
Right. He says, so as breakfast winds up, he says, as I said, you all are on leave. Do what you wish. Please, though, I would ask that you stick around Pellic at least for at least 3 days, if you don't mind. I have something special planned. I think you will want to stick around for it. So he finishes his breakfast. Lady Elia does too, and he says, and he continues to say, "Well, gentlemen, lady, I have much work to do. Again, my thanks." And he stands up. Lady Elia also does, and the Margrave walks away, but Lady Elia stays behind, and she says, "Well, just to let you know, he does have something super special planned for you. So, of course, you have rooms here in the castle. You do not worry. You're not going to be tossed out on the cobblestones anytime soon. But over the next few days, you are probably going to be pretty well taken in hand and pampered, so to speak. He definitely has his favorites, and you all seem to be his most." So he says, do you all have any questions? Do you all have anything that you might need from me or the Margrave?
Is there any chance that you're going to be sending dispatches or any correspondence to the yeomanry, and I might be able to send a message to my family that I'm well?
Oh, of course. You just let us know what you want. I'll have ink and parchment sent to your rooms if there is anyone that you need to make contact with, and we will dispatch a rider.
Oh, no need. Just next time you send correspondence, just say that I sent the message that the chair's against the wall. The chair's against the wall.
John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, good. So she sweeps out of the room behind the Margrave, and so you're sitting at this table finishing up your breakfast. The servants have came back. Some are cleaning, clearing off plates and things of that nature, and they ask if you desire more, that they will bring you an extra helping. But so you were sitting here in this very well-appointed dining room. So, what would you like to do? You have 3 days.
Do we?
I'm looking at. I need to go investigate a spell book and a staff.
Okay, very good.
I was going to say, I recognize your plight with armor. Do you need a little bit of a fund injection to try and help you get over that top? Or?
Well, first thing that I want to do is get with Uncle Angus and see if we can get any homeboy hookups, because I definitely know I can't afford a plate armor, but we needed armor upgrade for sure. I'm tired of getting curb stomped.
Well, Mike, remember we got that, was it 300 gold each, Brian?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, plate armor's like $1,500.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to throw. I was going to throw, if you can cut a deal, I'll throw my cash your way to help boost you if you help me later.
Well, yeah, I was going to see if, because Angus is the captain of the guard, if they have any, hookups.
You get a breastplate. You get a breastplate and still use your dex.
Get some deals with a D and a Z.
D and a Z. Okay.
Yeah, Kelex is probably going to do the same. He's gonna definitely got to re-equip himself since he was pretty much stripped of his armor and his weapon and shield, whatever else he had on him.
Yeah, you were pretty much you were pretty much just left in your underwear almost. So unfortunately, the same with Timble. You guys got stripped down pretty quick, and you're not really too sure where your gear and goodies went, unfortunately. Okay.
Yeah, well, Angus always has extra gear because he always pees his kilt.
Man, I left that joke out there for you.
Thanks.
Okay. So,
well, I'll be primarily trying to resource my art equipment.
Okay. Very good.
Seeing what I can get back and what individual things I'll probably need to have made and start working on preparing pigments and
Nice.
such.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so Grenna, was there anything special you wanted to do with your time?
Work on teaching kobolds how to follow command.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Yeah. Now, that's the
Everybody,
Mhm.
the cash from all of the party treasure that I've been keeping up with.
Yeah.
Everybody gets 388 gold and 46 silver.
Does that not include what the Margrave gave us?
That's including the chest.
That's where
388
we should be.
Okay,
Plus-
so it's full total. Okay.
All
plus
right.
46, silver.
So splint armor it is.
Yeah, because I can't remember what you had before.
I've got a
Kiffi.
list.
I'm rolling the scale mail right now.
Oh, rolling scale mail. Oh, okay. Yeah.
How much is a breastplate? Breastplate's
400.
400.
Yeah.
Is that so? I can spot if you want to go to a breastplate.
I could actually give you 300 gold.
Now, nope. It's $200 for splint mail. So
300 gold. I can give it to you.
nah, it's fine. It's fine.
That
Breastplate is the same AC as I have right now, so that wouldn't be an upgrade.
Do you get to use your AC mod? Breastplate is 14 plus AC mod. So
I don't have Dex, so it doesn't matter.
I'm the same boat, Mike. Yeah.
He's a dwarf.
Hey, I just stand there.
Oh, maybe
That's
your
fair.
uncle has an angle on a half-price emporium or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, is to see if Angus has any deals. If not, then we'll pay retail for splint mail. It's fine. AC 17
Okay.
plus my shield.
So, Grenna, I'm going to start with you. If you can give me an animal handling check with advantage. Okay, so you were able to successfully teach him one command
Okay.
other than kill. Kill.
Oh,
She
yes.
didn't roll any
Balls.
advantage, though.
Oh yeah, you didn't do your advantage. Yeah, do the advantage.
You got one more.
One more.
One more.
Yeah. Let's. Oh, okay, much better. Okay, so so instead of one, you actually are able to teach two. So right now he already understands kill or sick balls or whatever you want to call it.
Sick ball is sick.
Yeah. So which two are you wanting to teach him?
Stay
Okay.
and guard.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Yeah. So these are two that he understands. Are you teaching him in common, or are you going to stick with Gnome? Gnomish.
Actually, I'm going to do Kinderspeak. For some reason, I have that as my language, believe it or not. But that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. Okay.
Unless I have a really long conversation with our little friend who got killed.
See, I knew you guys liked him. She called him his friend.
It's up to you. If you want me to change out the languages, I can.
It would probably make more sense that you would either stick with either Common or Gnomish.
One could argue that Gnomish is a derivative of...
True.
You got that bass backwards again.
A what? A derivative of what?
Gnomish is a
Gnomish.
derivative of Kinderspeak, but once again, he's got that bass backwards.
They're all derivative of Dwarvish, so it doesn't matter.
Right. It's all a derivative of Dwarvish.
Next, you're going to say dwarves invented Quadro Triticale.
I know why I like Kiffi so much.
It was a dwarven invention. How dare you suggest otherwise?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's okay. That's okay. It's no problem.
Okay.
All right.
Since we're at the dividing treasure part, and I'm sitting here doing everything, the leftovers we have after all the coins distributed, we have a pewter plate, 2 cat's eye marbles, 2 weeks iron rations, letters from home in a childish script that are almost illegible about a family pet. We have a document case with orders from the second and third headquarters company of Prince Aziz. Hold the key. I'm going to hand those over to, I think we should hand those over to the prince or Margrave or whatever he is.
All right.
The silver key that opens the Moradin Sanctuary, and Scorch LaRue's spellbook and staff.
Okay.
I would like to take the spellbook and the staff, but if anybody really, really wants to dispute that, I will be more than happy to talk to them.
Oh, so when I dispute that, you're going to talk to me?
Well, you might find fleas and ticks and all sorts of stuff in your underwear.
Oh, jeez.
And that's unusual. Why?
Too much information, roughing the listener, 2 beer penalty.
Uh-oh. I like these. I have no claim on any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Kelex is not. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can
The War Orphans Fund.
Actually, Timble, I think you should take the marbles.
I do want the marbles.
Okay. You want the pewter plate as well?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to remove those from our list.
But I can take those letters also.
You want the letters? All right.
Please.
I have no issue with the letters. Anybody else want the letters?
No.
Nope.
Letters gone.
Okay.
Now, all we got left over is 2 weeks iron rations, the silver
Oh,
key
yeah,
that
we
opens
have
the
the
sanctuary.
keys. We also have all the keys from the keep. Remember, I took them from the guard.
I was unaware of that. She has a ring of keys that open the dungeon jail.
True. That is true.
Okay. All right.
We also got a very nice pet officer short sword. If anybody wants that.
Right. I would also like the key that opens the Moradin Sanctuary, unless Kiffi wants it.
Nah. I don't care about that kind of stuff.
Do we want to present the Margrave with the key that opened the door to his freedom?
Well, I was thinking more about giving it to the dwarf, the priests here for Moradin, because he saved our asses.
Well, I'm not talking about the sanctuary key. I'm talking about the ring of keys that has the one that opened the gate, freeing him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are we doing with those?
We're going to give them to the Margrave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a nice presentation box?
We've got a pewter plate.
Perfect. Perfect. Timble, you're in charge of that.
Ryan, to answer your question, we'll just stick with Gnomish.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so yeah, so you've been able to train him in at least you right now have 3 commands that you can use. Yeah, and of course there are other commands. If you can think of them, we can look at that down the road. So yeah, that's perfect. Ed, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep with the.
Tomas?
Keep with the character names. Tomas, what are you doing with your time?
I'm new to this area in Bissell, so I'm going to be up in the ramparts, observing their military. I mean, at this time we're not at war, but there might come a chance that I need to know the tactics of the Bissellen army or their defenses and things like that. So I'm just taking a tactical assessment and observing around, intermingling with the soldiers.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm actually in court guard too. So, as you can tell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you actually spend some time talking with the soldiers here who man the castle oversight, as well as the city walls. From where your standpoint or what you're looking at, give me an investigation check.
Sure.
Okay.
13
Okay.
knowledge.
So yeah, from what you're able to kind of ascertain from as you've been talking and observing these soldiers, you do realize that there is a morale problem here. The initial losses of Thornward and the lands beyond it to the south have taken a pretty heavy toll on the populace as well as the military. This is probably something that you would want to you could almost document and report. Either to the Margrave or to Captain Gravelheart, the captain of the guard. But yeah,
this I would definitely bring this up to the captain of the guard that morale's a little low. This isn't something I'd report to the Margrave because that would just bring undue.
Yeah. Okay.
So if in the sense of discretion being the bigger part of valor, I'd report that to the captain of the guard.
Right. Okay. So
who by the way, I don't think I've met him actually.
Yeah, I think really about the only person who's actually touched base with Captain Gravelheart is Kiffi, because Kiffi is a relative. Yeah. So. Okay, very good. Yeah, so you're gonna you spend your time doing that, talking with them, trying to get a little bit of a better feel about how they're faring and what they feel about the war in general with the Ket. There is one bright spot, is that the second day after you once again arrived, you start to notice that there is a heavier elven presence in the city, as a company of rangers have actually arrived at the gate and are let into the city. So that kind of raises some spirits amongst the people. The elves are a little bit they're kind of aloof. They're not very friendly. They're elves. It's not that they're hostile, they're just kind of dismissive. So, sure. And of course, they're also in a strange land. They're not really too sure, what to expect. So I'm sure you can relate in a way. So yeah, so there you go. Okay, so Kiffi. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
They're from Celene, right?
They're Celene. Yeah, they're Selenish troops. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Kiffi, you spend a little bit of time after breakfast tracking down Angus Gravelheart, your uncle. You find him actually talking to some raw recruits that have been brought up from the south, as well as talking to a young elvish lieutenant from a group of rangers that just arrived from Celene. Once he sees you, he quickly wraps up his conversation with the recruits and the lieutenant and walks over to you and he says, "Hey lad, so you're back. How'd you fare out there? Did you see something?"
Oh, we saw some things. Got a puddle stomped in my guts, and but we managed to escape by the grace of Fortubo.
Excellent. I saw that the Margrave is back, and that's in itself is awesome.
Yep, that was our doing.
Yeah, so he's looking at your armor a little bit. And oh, you took quite a beating, my lad. But,
yes, that actually is kind of one of the reasons I came to see you. Of course, mainly to pay my respects and give greetings, but also I need an upgrade. This is not working for me.
Yeah, he claps you on the shoulder and he says, "Aye, lad, it looks like you need a little bit of help." And he said, "Here, let's just step into the armory here real quick. Let's see what we can find you." So you walk in, and you can see that it's a little bit sparse. Like I said, this is a country at war. A lot of things are going to frontline troops. But you can see that he actually has some items that would probably fit the bill. And he kind of looks you up and down real quick, and he says, yeah, that... Definitely got the shoulders from your father, I see. Wide.
It's a little in the chest.
Yeah. And he reaches over and he says, "Well, I think this will probably fit you." And he takes a breastplate out of a crate and he holds it up to you and he says, "Here, try it on and see what you think."
Well, yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's shiny. I'm not looking for a handout, though. And the breastplate really doesn't get me where I need to go. I need more.
Oh.
So I need to go, like, splint or plate or something like that. I was mainly hoping you could hook me up with some blacksmith that you know and trust, that maybe we could get a deal or something. But he
says, I see what you're talking about. Yes. Walk with me a bit. And so he takes you out into town, and there's like a couple of blacksmiths here that they're working on some things, and you hear he walks up to this one dwarven gentleman, and he says, "Argyle, what you got? What you got for my boy here?" And you see this grizzled old-looking dwarf. It looks like he's got like burns and things on his arms from either not paying a lot of attention to what he's doing at the forge. And he says, Is that your nephew you have with you?" And he said, "Aye, yeah, he just came back. He's seen some shit, and he needs an upgrade, so to speak." And he says, So you see Argyle walk out behind, and he just kind of does a circle around you, and he says, What's the weapon you're carrying?"
"Well, it's a black warhammer, of course."
Nice. nice. And he takes he just kind of, he says, takes a look at it and he says, what a curious looking hammer you have there. Do you see this, Angus? Did you
doubly
see
blessed.
He says, this is special. Very nice. Very nice. So you're not really particularly looking for a weapon then, are you? You're looking for something to stop weapons from hitting you, obviously. So he looks back and says, well, I do have, I got some split mail back here, if that will help. I do have some chain, but I think the split would probably do you better. I agree. I wish I had plate, but I don't. And Angus just looks at it and said, hey, if splint's the best you got, don't worry. I've got the gold to cover it. And you kind of hear them talking. You see that Argyle walks over to a. It's like a heavy dressmaker's dummy, but it's made of wood, and on it is a beautiful set of scale mail, of splint mail, and he brings it over to you, and he says, this looks like it'll fit you perfect, and he hands it over to you.
Nice. What's the charge?
You just see Angus and says, don't worry about it, lad. You deserve it. Yeah, put it on. Make your mama and daddy proud.
All right. Well, let's get into it and give it a little twirl.
Okay, little twirl. Yes, very nice. Spin around. Let's see it.
All right. Does it make my butt look fat?
No, your butt makes your butt.
Okay, so so you were able to find yourself a pretty decent piece of armor.
Nice.
Keep you. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
Forever in your debt, Uncle Angus.
So, was there anything else you wanted to do while you're? Because you really have some time to either explore, shop, or whatever you were planning on doing.
No. I think if there's a Temple of Fortubo here, then I will probably spend the rest of the time there.
It might be kind of hard to find one. There is definitely a sanctuary, but not like a full temple. You might only find one cleric, maybe just a even just a group of just very dedicated acolytes, but finding a full-on priest might be kind of rough.
Okay, well, if that is the case, then I'll scab at the Temple of Moradin.
Okay, that's fine. Alrighty, so Pav, what are you doing on your time waiting for the Margrave's reward?
Well, I definitely need to. I don't have any family, but I definitely need to do some shopping. However, I think I need to go to the temple first.
Okay.
So I need to replace my holy symbol.
Right.
Obviously, they took that from me, and the temple's the only place to go to. But I wouldn't mind actually going to speak with the Father. Hold on, I got his name right here.
Yeah, I can share that list with you again, guys, if you all need confirmation on folks that you've met.
Okay. Yeah, Father Vilo.
Yep, Vilo. Yep. Okay, so yeah, you make your way to the Temple of Heironious, and you arrive just as the doors have opened for morning services, and Father Vilo is standing right there and recognizes you once again as he reaches out and shakes your hand heartily and says, Kelex, am I right?
Yes, Father. Yes.
Excellent.
Good to see you again.
Oh, welcome back. Are you going to be staying for services today?
Yes, definitely. I also am in need of replacing my holy symbol. Unfortunately, I lost it during our excursion into Ket.
Oh, understandable. Completely. Yes, we can definitely find you a replacement. If you don't mind, can you wait till after services and we'll take care of you?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent.
And afterwards, I'd like to have maybe just a quick chat with you about a couple of things. It's plaguing my mind a bit.
Of course. That's no problem whatsoever. We can meet in my offices after service. And so, yeah, as you go ahead and walk in, of course, this is very much like any medieval sort of church or temple. You don't have pews. Everyone just stands for the litany. So you're not in there very, very long until, blessings are handed out at the end. There is, of course, alms for the poor are collected. And
yeah, so, definitely give alms to the poor.
Okay.
I was going to make a donation to church, so I'll give 25 gold for the poor.
Okay. Wow. Alrighty. So yeah. So you go through all of this, and finally, as you're still standing in the center of the church for the most part, as everyone else files out, Father Bello comes back over to you and says, "All right, yes, let's go to my office." And he takes you back through a small hallway, and it's the same office that you'd been in before when you brought the remains of the scepter, as well as the remains or some of the remains of Toby, to have them interred below. And he motions for you to sit down, and he sits down across from you from his desk. He said, "So first off, let's replace that holy symbol." And he reaches into his desk, and he brings out a silver holy symbol. And he says, "I think this I'm sure this will fit what you need." And he hands it over to you.
Thank you, Father.
Yes. So you have a silver holy symbol. He says, "And so what is troubling you? You said you had something to discuss."
Yes, it's in recent times I've had, I don't want to say visions. I've had circumstances happen to me that I'm trying to figure out. When we first came to the city, I had guard one night, and I managed to lay eyes upon a dragon flying through the sky while a falling star. I didn't really think too much of it, though I'm wondering if it maybe meant something. Is it a symbol? Is it an omen? Could it be?
He strokes his beard and goes, "Definitely portents of ill." He says, "And so you were not asleep when you saw these things. You were on watch."
No, I was very much awake, as duty dictates.
The presence of a dragon is surely disturbing. But you said at the same instance you saw a falling star.
That's correct, Father.
That is quite troubling. Usually to see something of such just dangerous power, and that to see something falling from the heavens, maybe that there's someone of great importance who is in grave danger. A fall is coming, but who is the target?
Could have not been the Margrave, because this was before we came to the city.
No, usually a falling star would have something to do more with a permanent fall.
Interesting.
Yes. To see two things of such immense, such great portents as darkness as such at the same time is very, very troubling. If you have any more of these visions or sights, make sure to tell me again.
Yes, Father, I definitely will. Actually, you speak of visions. I did actually have a dream while we were in Ket. Very vivid, except for, it seemed I was being knighted by an elven lady. He kind of refrains from using Melda's name and stuff like that. But seemed odd. It originally seemed odd, but there was also another woman with her. She seemed familiar, but I couldn't recognize her.
Ah, interesting. That's very strange that there's only 2 elven queens in the realm. One would be Yolanda of Celene, and the other one would be Zan of the Vespi Forest. Do you know of these women?
Brian, sorry, out of character. Who was the first lady you mentioned?
Yolanda, the Queen of Celene.
I know of the name, Yolanda. I don't know her personally.
Somebody better tell that bitch to chill.
God.
Maybe this dream was just from my recent battles. I was very tired, so it may have just been random. But that is interesting. Why would I have been knighted by...
That is very strange.
Elves?
You would absolutely have to do something extraordinary to receive such high regard from an elven queen. The elves are not known to hand out such gifts so readily, and to a human. And you said it was very real.
Yes.
Well, keep your eyes open. Maybe something grand and wonderful will occur, and you will find yourself on the flat end of a sword. Not at your throat, per se, but at least across your shoulder. Interesting.
Not across my backside.
He chuckles at that, and he says, aye. Yeah.
Well, Father, thank you for your wisdom. But I'm off to do some... I need to re-gear myself. I lost my armor and everything at our excursion, so...
Yes. He said, of course, return at any time. You're always welcome here. And it's good to see you again, Kelex.
Thank you, Father.
Yes.
And I get up and leave.
Okay.
And Brian, we don't need to go through the whole shopping thing. I'm just going to go buy some splint and a shield.
Okay.
Grave danger.
What was that, Ed?
Grave danger.
Grave danger. Okay. So
is there any other kind?
So Yarn, what were you planning on? Oh, that's right. You were going to take a look at that book, that spell book.
Well,
and also
first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to detect magic on the staff.
Okay, it is magical.
Well,
Yeah, it is magical. Yep.
okay. I don't have identified, so crap.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll need to find somebody who has an identify spell.
Okay. So it is magic.
Most likely, you could probably talk to Entero. That is the elderly wizard who seems to have a problem with memory loss.
Yep. I'm familiar with that. Okay. So the spell book.
Yeah. Okay. So you pull up the spell book, and it is written in common, but but the script is, of course, magical. So you do see that there is some common at the beginning. It's not magical, but as you get deeper into it, you realize that the script does become only readable to people who can read magic. And you see that this is a really well put together spell book, in that it has every cantrip that is known is in this book. And it also has several other spells in it, but they're not as extensive as the cantrips. So all of the cantrips are found within. But you find some that are a little bit more powerful. You do find a detect magic. You have a mage armor, magic missile, and shield. Okay. So right now, what is the highest level that you can read magical? 2? Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you also see that there is one for Misty Step and Suggestion. And then you get to some magics that are you cannot read because they are just outside of your abilities. So those are ones that you're not really even too sure that you can. I mean, you definitely wouldn't be able to cast them or even learn them at this point in time, but you do feel that you're not far off.
Okay. Now, cool. I know the Scorch LaRue cast Magic Missile and Fireball.
Yes, he did.
So. So I am aware of that.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to take some time to find Entero?
Yes, please. Okay. I really want to figure out what the staff is.
Okay. So you, after a little bit of asking around, you find him in his observatory with some interesting items that he is up there. He's got some of his books out and he's looking over some things, and he as you rap upon the wooden door, he opens it up and goes, hello. He kind of adjusts his glasses and looks at you and says, you look familiar.
Yes, you gave me a little leg to bring the Margrave back, if you recall.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. You just returned. Excellent,
indeed, we
excellent.
did. Now, and I have a question that only someone of your caliber can answer, because obviously I can't. And I have this staff. It seems magical, but I have no clue to what it is.
Oh, that's because.
Would you happen to have any idea?
Yes, that's because it truly is magical. And he takes it and he says, "Oh, it's beautiful. And where did you find this? It's in very good condition." I took it off a dead maid. Nice, very nice. And he says, he twists it around a little bit, and he says, but you don't know what it does. That's okay, because I do know what it does, and I'm going to teach you how to use it. And he, I really appreciate that. And you see him do something that, because he's a pretty advanced older gentleman, and he spins it like a bow staff, and he like takes it and spins it behind his back, and he says, "This is great." And he says, "Okay, so watch this." And he just throws it to the ground, or he just kind of tosses it to the ground, and he says, and as soon as he does, it turns into a constrictor and starts to sort of just sort of make its way around the room. And he says, "That, my friends, is a staff of the serpent. An excellent staff for such an accomplished gentleman as yourself." And he
Why, thank you, but let's not get beyond the realm of reality here.
Oh.
I'm just starting my journey.
Little do you know, you think I am just some sort of old doddering fool, but I know where you come from, and I know your people. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Not many do in this area.
Not many care.
Yeah.
He says it's very, very interesting that so many people might think that I am losing my wits about me, but actually, this is still very sharp. And so he reaches down and picks up the constrictor, and as soon as he does, it immediately turns back into the staff. And he says, "Here you go. Give it a try. Let's see how you do. Remember, throw it to the ground first, and then hassa."
All right. So I throw it to the ground and I go,
flip.
hassa.
Okay. And you do what?
I throw it to the ground and I say, hassa.
Okay. He says, he looks kind of at you, and he says, because it doesn't seem to, when it hits the ground and you say the word, he's like, I don't think you're doing it right. You've got to put more of a S at the end.
I see.
Yes.
So I try to
Yes.
pick it up. Hassa.
Better. Okay.
Did it work?
No, not quite. He said, okay. Hassa. Stretch it out. Hassa.
Great, we've got Neville Longbottom with us.
All right, one more time. Give it one more go. Let's see what you think.
Throw it down.
He's like, yeah, and he picks it back up and he hands it to you. You can practice. I'm sure you'll get it.
Okay. I said, thank you very much. Is there any service I can do for you?
Would you like for me to write it down? Maybe phonetically?
I think I got it. I think I just have to get the right consonants.
I'm
going.
sure you'll be fine. I kind of figure it might be a little hard with that Nordic tongue of yours. It might be just a little bit out of reach, but trust me.
Siblings are tough for us.
Yeah, I had this feeling, it's like, no, you'll be fine. You're good. Okay, so he says, is there anything else you need me to look at or identify?
No, but if I can do a service for you, please let me know.
He says, not right now, unfortunately. I don't have anything that I need to have done. No one needs to be killed, so I think that's good.
This week.
Yes, you just never know.
Indeed.
I mean, I could just kill them myself, I suppose, but then I wouldn't want anything coming back at me,
Exactly.
So this topic of conversation is just kind of like, okay, where is this going? That this old wizard is like contemplating killing people.
I don't have any problem with it. I totally get it.
You mean that's what wizards don't talk about?
Said, so Jan, you go right ahead, practice with your new staff, and good luck to you. I'm sure I will be seeing you soon. I heard that there's some sort of event in a few days, and I'm sure it has something to do with you and your friends.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Wonderful.
Anytime you need something identified, just bring it to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank
you so much.
I can see that you're an up-and-coming young wizard, and I'd be happy to aid you in any way I can, being that you've done such a great service to the Margrave and his lady.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, just remember, stretch it out. Stretch it out. Yes, very. Yes, you've almost got it. That's perfect. And he escorts you to the door, and he says, "All right, have a good
one final thing. I asked for not for him.
Okay.
I go downstairs and I find a servitor and ask for directions to the Temple of Moradin.
Oh, okay, yeah. There is a temple to Moradin here, and he points you is just a few blocks away from Castle Oversight. It's very easy to spot. There's a gigantic anvil setting out front where they have outside services every so often. And it's easy to find. So, you make your way to this temple. It looks as though there isn't any services going on, but you do see that there is an acolyte sweeping the steps. A young dwarven lad who is busy sort of tidying up.
Is there a priest around?
He says, of course, yeah. I'll go get him. Would you like to just come inside?
Sure, I'll come inside.
Ah, of course. And he looks up to you. Of course, he's a dwarf, and he says, "Are you an adherent of our faith?" It's interesting.
Not at all. I have something that belongs to y'all, and I wish to give it to you.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure the priest would be happy to see this. And
what was the name of the castle?
So he walks you up. And you see that there is indeed a vestment-clad priest who is going over some documents in the front of the temple. And he said, "Father," the acolyte says, "Father Taurus, this gentleman wanted to. He says he has something to give you." And Taurus looks up and says, looking through his spectacles, and it's like, welcome. You're not familiar to me.
No, I'm not an adherent of Moradin.
Of course.
I'm an adherent of Noribel.
Okay.
However, in our travels, my companions and I came across the silver key. It opened up a door that led us to a Temple of Moradin, where we were able to rest and sleep. And we had some interesting dreams as well. It was at the castle, I can't remember the name, whatever castle we went to.
It was Kodal Keep.
Kodal Keep. It was in Kodal Keep. And since Moradin was so good to us, I figured we might as well give him the key back.
He kind of looks you over and says, "You have been to the fabled Kodal Keep."
Yes, we have.
That is very interesting. Do you know the story of the keep?
Nope. Not a bit.
He says, at one point in time, all these lands here belonged to the dwarves. Yes, before the coming of man to this region. Interesting. And you have been there. And so what are you presenting him?
The silver key.
He says, "Oh, it is definitely of dwarven make, made of silver. Beautiful. And where did this? You found this inside?"
I did. There was a fountain, and this was under the edge of the fountain, and immediately, or within a few feet of the fountain, was a hidden door, which opened to this key.
And inside
there was nothing of value. Well, let me rephrase that. There was nothing of monetary value in that room, but there was a anvil and a graphic image of Moradin, and we slept in that room, and we had some interesting dreams.
Interesting. So it is true that there is a temple of prophecy there.
I wouldn't know. However,
Amazing.
all I'm doing is telling you what I do know.
Amazing. It was all just... these were tales that had been told down through the ages to all dwarves. And so it is true. Did any of you drink from the fountain?
No.
Interesting.
Not that I'm aware of.
Interesting indeed. He thanks you and says, "Thank you so very much for giving this to us. This actually is very precious to dwarven kind, and we are truly indebted to you bringing it to us. Is there anything that we can do for you?"
No. Thank you, though. And I wander off.
He said, he says, "Oh, no, don't go yet." And he reaches out to you, and he takes your hand to shake. And as you do, you feel some sort of power go through him and into you. And he says, "Take this blessing and use it as you must." You get inspiration. 1d6 on to be used whenever you'd like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I thank him. Thank you very much. And wander off.
Okay.
Business completed. Going home now.
All right. Awesome.
Go back to my room.
Cool. All right. And last is Timble. Timble, what are you doing? I know you said that you were going to go out and look for some replacement items.
Yes.
Okay.
Firstly, before I had wanted to interject it, jumped forward so much. At the end of that meal, I was going to talk to Yarn and say, "Can I see those letters, the dispatches that were the official stuff from the captain and that?" I can see that it gets into the Queen's and the King's hand. Wonderful, wonderful. I will tuck those away, and I don't think I'll keep them on my person.
Okay.
But yes, I'm going to go and see if I can find a. What's the name of the woman and her child that we saved from the giants that have the store here?
No, she doesn't have a store here. That's in Chage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a little bit far off.
I'm looking for a similar type of store that might have a, like a shadow box or something that I can purchase. I don't necessarily want to have to go and have it made if I can find one already made to be used.
Right. Understandable. Yeah. There are different artisans around that you can actually find woodwork frames and boxes and things of that nature. So, yeah, it doesn't take you long to be able to find those.
Okay. And
a person to do that.
I want something like that so that we can put the keys in.
Okay.
Have them have something that we can present it to them, and that's lined with, nicely and all that.
Okay.
However much that would cost.
Yeah. So you have a couple of days to be able to do that. From what you've been able to, they present to you what they think would be. It's a shallow box with a with a frosted glass inlay for the top, that would be able to allow something to be seen through it. The inside of the case would be covered in felt, and there would be like copper bands that are actually going to hold the ring of keys in place. Okay. Yeah. And they,
of course, I'm telling them that it's going to be presented to Margrave, so
right.
Quality is important as well as speed.
So they quote you 15 gold.
I won't even haggle.
Okay, very good. And he said you can pick it up in 2 days, so it'd actually give you an entire day before whatever event is scheduled. Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
All right.
That's taken care of.
What else would you like to do?
I need to replace my gear.
Okay. So what are you?
I don't know how much that's going to cost. Okay. I have been looking at the player's handbook stuff here, and at some point in all this electronic data, they decided to go away from. Here's just this big list for you.
Okay.
And you can't find it in the player's handbook, but I'd like to replace everything. But notably, my painting supplies, I would like to source that. The oils, the mortar, pestle, pigments, everything that I would need to create the pigments and that.
Okay.
Of course, painting tools would be important.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about painting and the tools of the trade first off. You would be able to replace all of that for 35 gold pieces.
Okay, they're underselling, but I'm going to be very picky with the quality.
Well, you also have to understand at this point in time, there's not a lot of call for it, and they're just trying to make some coin. A country at war doesn't really have a lot of chance to explore its cultural side when it's fighting for its very existence. So these people are actually looking for cash. Yeah, they're looking for cash.
Well, I've got cash if they can come up with the goods. I'm not going to be a cheapskate when it comes to the important part of my trade. I will also take the time in the evening to go and practice my thieves' cant and find the local guild, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, Go ahead.
I have tools to replace.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to, after a little bit of searching, you find not a very well-known little cantina. It's kind of almost on the outskirts of the city of Pellic. A dingy little place that you recognize some of the some symbols that are etched into the stone on near the base of its wall, letting you know that this is a safe location. And it to the uninitiated, they would just think it is kind of graffiti, but what to look for. You know that that's a safe place. And
what is the name of this place?
It is the Wilted Lily.
I will go in and try to make contact with someone, because I need to get more than just my I need to get something more than just my picks replaced.
Okay. So yeah, you walk in. This place is it's dingy, just as the outside matches the inside, and it is pretty, like I said, pretty nasty looking. And but there are definitely people here. more of the sort of the dregs of society, so to speak. And
before I go in here,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to consider, would I have had the time to at least rearm myself? Because I'm not going in there until I have my dagger.
Okay, so we'll backtrack a little bit. You were able to find, what were you looking as far as weapon replacement?
I would like 5 daggers of high quality and rapier or a short sword.
Okay. So, yeah, if you are looking for a dagger and you're looking for 4 of them.
5.
5 of them, sorry. Yes. Let me just bring up my sheet here. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so
and if there's some masterwork things around, I would like to know what the price is.
Yeah, unfortunately, finding masterwork items is going to be kind of hard to find, especially right now. But you can find daggers for 2 gold pieces each. So that would be 10 total for the 5.
All right.
And if you're looking
I don't feel so naked now. I would be happy. Yeah.
Okay. Rapiers are 25 gold. And you can find one that would definitely fit your need.
All right, I'll pay that. Now I'm not so naked, and I feel good about entering the facilities.
Okay.
I'll have to replace my quarterstaff on my own.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, so we'll go back to the Wilted Lily, and as once again as you walk in, take a look around, you get kind of a feel of the place. There is a fireplace, there is tables, but most of the patrons here are sitting at the bar. They sort of, give you the slow head turn to see you walk through the door, study you for a couple of seconds, and then they just go back to their pints. You see there's at least 5 other people here at patrons. You see that there is a gentleman standing behind the bar serving drinks. And you also see a woman, a human woman, probably about 30 years of age, who is just sweeping up broken glass off the floor. And she looks over to you and says, "Hey, love, what would you like? Like something to drink?"
Wine. Good wine.
Oh.
I'll speak myself.
Okay. So are you going to sit at the bar with the rest of them, or are you going to find a table?
Oh, I'm going to find a corner.
Okay. So you find a little corner to park yourself in, and a few moments pass, and she brings back an actual wine glass and a bottle of mostly, from what you can gather, it looks more like a Riesling than anything else. It's acceptable.
As long as it's not vinegar, we're good.
It's going to be sweet. You kind of figure it's probably going to be sweet. So,
as am I.
Yeah, she pours a little bit into your glass, leaves the bottle for you, and she says, "Okay. Well, dearie, would you like some? Do you want some food, or is this good?"
Well, I'm sure in Thieves' Camp there's a sign for.
Yeah. You can either
I don't want to say looking for work, but looking for equipment.
You can either use the terminology, or you can give her a hand signal.
I'll give the hand signal and make it clear to everyone at the bar also.
Okay. So a lot of them are not really paying any attention to you. The bartender and the waitress is, and as soon as you give the hand symbol, she just gives you a nod, You also see that the bartender also gives you a nod. And you wait a couple of more minutes, and the woman brings over. It looks to be just a piece of wood, and it has a piece of parchment on it. And she says, "Is there anything you would like to pick from the menu, sir?" And as you look at the
certainly.
menu, you realize that it is not food; it's equipment.
Disguise kit and forgery kit on there?
Yep.
Yes, I'll take those.
Okay. That's all right. So
And two sets of tools.
okay. She says, that's a pretty tall order. Unfortunately, I don't think we have that exact type of meal that you're looking for, sir, but I can offer you this. And she moves the parchment so you can look on the back, and you see that they actually have one last set of thieves' tools, and they're masterworked.
I'll take those.
Okay. You see her bring out just a charcoal stylus and writes a number at the bottom, and it says 50. Is this acceptable, sir?
Certainly.
Excellent.
I can get them today.
Of course.
I'll pour myself some wine and tell her that I await the meal.
Okay. She says.
And
I'll
pull out and I'm not going to pull out a bag of gold here in the middle of this. It's not happening.
Yeah. Okay. So, a few moments pass by, and you see her bring out. It looks to be like a platter that has some bread, cheese, and things on it. But as it gets closer, you realize that this is all just wax and the like. It looks very real, but as she sits it in front of you, you realize that there's something under all of this, and it is the items that you wanted to procure.
All right.
She looks and says, "Sir, does this meet your exact specifications?"
Well, I'll look through the bread, as it were, and so they do have the disguise kit, forgery kit.
Yep.
All right. Good quality.
Yes, it's not masterwork, but it is better than you would call common. Yeah.
That's what I needed to know.
Cool.
And I will carefully, out of sight of everyone, pay for my meal.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. Okay. Yeah, you do it with such panache and that it just totally escapes anyone who would be watching. It's almost what you would consider artistic, how you did it.
There is a 5 gold tip in there for the fact that I got it today. I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Is your business pretty much here at the Wilted Lily finished?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So yeah,
that is done.
Okay.
I'll head back carefully, watching, see if I'm tailed or anything, back to the keep. Right. But I want to go through the letters
Okay.
the child's letters,
Yes.
and see if I can define any cipher, anything that.
Yeah, as you're looking through this, give me an investigation check. Ed, I don't know what's going on, but it's cool.
I hear this
You
often.
had to choose one of my lower abilities.
Okay. Okay. You're looking through this. It doesn't look as though there's any special rhyme or reason. It looks just like normal reports from the field. The Margrave is mentioned. There is also a commander or a Captain Lothar that is mentioned in several. You kind of feel that he is the one who initially captured the Margrave and had imprisoned him there. And you realize that most likely, when you all made your escape, those who were returning back to Kodal Keep were actually Lothar and his men. So obviously, he is either a force to be reckoned with, or some sort of clear and present danger. Actually, one of the documents was a bill of transport for the Margrave to the capital of Ket. So we can
Handwritten by him?
it is handwritten by him.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I will be studying that one. That will not go on to anywhere. That's going to remain with me.
Okay. Very good. This is for transport to the city of the capital city, which is Lopalia. Lopalia is deep within Ket territory. You've never traveled there. Ket is probably one of those places that is just not what you would consider cultured enough.
I would stand out.
So, yeah. Interesting.
All right. Any of the under commanders' names, signatures that?
Yeah, but they're not names that seem to readily jump out at you. You're just kind of thinking that they're probably lower level functionaries. So that's about it.
The nature of the remaining documents, I'm going to peruse them and attempt to copy the style. I want to create a style sheet based upon what I have there. Should I need to doctor something, create something,
Sure, of course. Okay, no, that makes sense. All right, excellent.
Then I will turn in the remaining documents. I will keep the one with Lothar's writing and such.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, in a couple of days, you're able to pick up that frame, and it is absolutely exactly to the specifications that you were looking for, with the keys mounted inside. A definite fitting tribute to a monarch. And so you return with that to Castle Oversight. All right. So
I will then take that to Pav, your character, Kelex, and say, we have this done, and I do believe you had the greatest connection with the Margrave. I'll give it to you to present.
If you think, you obviously were firsthand hired to find him, so I don't see.
No, we were. We were.
All right. I hope to do you honor by presenting this.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I hope it's worth an appointment or a promotion.
For you, I hope so.
No, not me.
I hope it's worth at least 5 gold.
So the evening before the third day, you all are called upon to have dinner with the Margrave and Lady Ilia. The servants once again come to you, and this time though they have more fitting clothing for you, something a little bit more festive. Not armor, but at least comfortable, and something that you could definitely more dinner wear apparel, probably the best way to put it. And so as you enter this room, you realize that the Margrave is here, Lady Ilia is here, but the room is filled with people sitting at tables, and as you enter, you see them all, the whole room goes silent as the Margrave and Lady Ilia rise, all of them rise, and you hear applause running through this group as you enter this hall and make your way to the table. Now, as customary, when there is a large congregation of people here, the Margrave and Lady Ilia would sit on one side of the table, separating themselves from the congregation, and instead of somebody sitting on the other side of the table, that is left open so they can look down upon all of their guests. You, though, have been given places of honor at their table on their side.
Oh.
Which is pretty, very, very impressive. And those who know a little bit more about heraldry and history and nobility, you realize that you are in a truly special, you're being held in a special honor. And so, you all are set on that side of the table. Young women and men dance in the hall. Maidens dispense libations as well as savory stews and hearty meat dishes. Music is played on lutes and harps, fill the hall with merry songs. The Margrave rises and toasts your success as his rescuers. And Lady Ilia smiles and nods to each of you in turn. And the Margrave speaks. This capable band of the finest warriors in the land have brought great honor to this nation and this house. With this great occasion in mind, I proclaim from now on that this month will be a month dedicated to freedom. The people will be granted a reprieve from taxation, and the day of Luna's fullness will be a free day from labors. A great cheer goes up from the crowded hall. You see that there are town criers and envoys sprint from the castle and spread the news throughout the city. The party goes on throughout the night. You have other people who are, after a while, as people, after they get done eating, are mingling and talking. There is dancing, and you all are treated like you are definitely royalty.
Does anybody else have a problem with the attention?
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Tomas doesn't. He's lived his entire life for this. He's like Rudy going in the fourth quarter. I've been waiting for this my whole life, Coach.
Wow.
It's more about humbling than to Kelex than anything. So
yeah.
All right. Just making sure it wasn't just me.
Yeah, it is a little weird. You have never really had this type of activity, especially with you being the center of things. For Grenna, it's really kind of a little off-putting, being that usually gnomes try to kind of hang back, observe, especially a ranger of her acumen, it is a little strange. And also, well, but for Timble, you weren't expecting it, but it's not like you're like, okay, it's not so bad.
I can handle it. It's just
You can handle it, but but you do kind of keep a sharp eye on those around you, and not out of worry, but just
Are there any elves?
What's that?
Are there any elves at this table?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there's actually one elf that you remember seeing before, and you believe it was one of the envoys from Celene, actually. He is not sitting at your table, though. He is actually sitting at a table off to the side. Not really being registered as anything of any great importance, but he stands out in a land where elves are. You can run into them every once in a while, but they're not like humans here. Or
is this someone that we met before at the table that morning?
No, those two gentlemen are not there. This was the one who was actually standing and talking with Lady Ilia when you first arrived. And I think his name is in the list. So if you need me to share that, I'll be happy to share that again with you. I don't want you guys to have to. There you go. Hopefully you were able to see that. Hopefully. Let's see. I think that is.
Timble, let me know when do you think it would be a good time to present our gift?
After I go to bed.
Okay.
What?
Well, looky there.
Oh.
Well, I would have asked you guys this. Do you all think it would be best to present a gift like this during our proceedings?
Guys. I've got the perfect idea. We'll send Thomas out to dance, and when everybody's laughing at him, we'll send Kel to the Margrave. No? Okay. Next thing. We slide Thomas out in the middle of the floor, then Kel goes talks to the Margrave. No?
Do we want
y'all got to get into the spirit of this. This is going to be fun.
You and I need to work on your definition of fun.
Do we want to present it privately? It is.
For the record, Brian, I rolled a 2 for performance of my dance that everybody is watching.
Oh no. Okay, so yes, as Tomas hits the floor, literally, yeah, it's sad, but it also is it's sad from your all's aspect, but it is quite comical for others, as you do see that there are people who are actually giggling and laughing, and eventually the entire floor is just filled with people laughing, and just and you actually hear one of the lords who is an aide to the Margrave. He says, "Oh, sire, I did not realize you had hired a jester." How absolutely just excellent, brilliant, sire. And as you see the Margrave just with this smile on his face, just like going, "Oh no." So are you?
For the record, my perception check was a 3. I think everybody loves my dance.
Yes, you are obviously you're in your element, no matter how disturbing that element might be. And yeah, you're actually down on the floor, doing the wave,
Shake it, Kiffi.
He ends up doing some spins. He hits a table or two. You know.
Okay, everybody, raise your hand if you have seen me dance like that, or am in that condition.
Oh no!
I guess I'm the lucky one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Like,
You have no idea.
Off duty, I don't think I ever said off duty. I don't think I ever saw Ed. So,
oh Jesus. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, so while this is all going on, are you all going to make your move?
Yes.
Kelex,
Okay.
go! Punt!
Alex stands up with the gift in his hand.
Okay.
I guess I wait for everybody to quiet down? Does it quiet down, or is everybody still staring at the?
Well, it really kind of
Distraction! Come on!
It really kind of depends on how long Tomas wants to put on the show.
That sounds like a Constitution check.
Yeah, you might want to do a Constitution check just to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. Or
yes, look at my con check.
Okay.
Or is that a wisdom check?
Okay, even though he's banging into stuff, and I mean, there is stuff just like all types of things happening. I mean, he hits his head on a table, he's tumbling over shit. People, I mean, he's actually quite resilient, and he just keeps going. He is like a man. He is a man on a mission. And nothing can stop this. He is a juggernaut of silliness, and it's amazing.
We're gonna have to come
As you all are watching this, you realize there's probably a bard somewhere in this group that is writing this down. It will be considered a tale for the ages.
The two-stepping Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, so while everybody is distracted,
yes,
I stand up. I walk over to the Margrave, and my liege. May I have a moment?
You kind of catch him in like a mid laugh, and he's like, "Oh, Kelex, oh." Yes, yeah. How can I help you? What do you have there?
My companions, I would like to present something to you as a remembrance for rescuing you from Ket. So I kind of bow and I hand him the.
He looks at you puzzled, and he's like, a gift from me.
It's a symbol, like you said, a symbol of freedom.
He takes it from you and looks at it, and he says, "These are the keys, are they not?"
Yes, my liege.
And you had them framed and covered in glass.
I didn't. But, yes.
We did.
We ain't right in the head.
You can actually see he is very moved by this gift, and he says, "This is truly monumental, and I am deeply humbled by your gift. Thank you, Kelex." And he looks at the rest of you who are sitting, and he says, and you can see him, said, "Thank you so much. This means so much to me."
It pleases us that you like your grace.
Yes. And he says, "Your friend, Tomas, did he practice this? This looks extraordinary."
I guess you could say it was a gift of unintentional purposes.
Obviously. You see Ilya just stands up next to you and said, I think he just hurt his privates. How was he able to keep going?
If we could teach Ket to do this dance, this war could be ended quite quickly.
they just burst into laughter and is like, "Oh my gosh, this is so funny." And but you can actually see that there is some concern over Lady Ilya as you're bouncing off of things and smashing into stuff.
Try to get Rubber Boy to sit down and eat.
I invented the pogo.
You are the pogo.
He's slam dancing. It's like a mosh pit down there, and he's the only participant.
I've seen that too.
You're like, oh god,
I've seen that too.
what is he doing?
As an aside, mosh pits while wearing a chain shirt are really interesting.
Obviously. So after a while, Tomas, you run out of steam. You're a little battered and bruised, but nothing that probably a good night's sleep and some ale would not fix. And so you finally make it back to your table as everybody is now applauding your grand exhibit, so to speak. You like I said, you have people who are absolutely horrified at what they've seen because they thought you had hurt yourself. But then you also have people who are absolutely just, oh my gosh, is this guy like a master bard, or is this a jester par excellence? I mean, what is this? This is like you were actually. You have a feeling that you may be the talk of the town for a while.
Well, I point out that I don't dance for a lot of people. Tonight I was just your little private dancer.
I'm sure you're going to love the story and the visual that goes home.
Oh boy. Okay. So the night winds down, people start to leave, it starts to get a little bit quieter. There's still some people around talking and so what are you guys planning on doing after pretty much about 50% of the participants make their way out for the evening? You actually see the Margrave and Lady Ilya are saying their goodbyes as they're getting ready to retire for the evening, but they do tell others that you remain as long as they would like. So it's really kind of up to you.
I'm thinking bedtime.
Can I find a library in the building?
A library in Castle Oversight? Oh, of course.
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is a library in Castle Oversight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to find out, see if I can find anything about the Raven lady.
Okay, so you end up like sort of just walking out a little bit later, not really announcing your intentions. You just kind of disappear, and you find yourself walking down a few of these hallways. There are guards posted, but they do not question you. I mean, of course, you can always ask them where the library is, but you're not.
That would be the smart thing to do.
Okay. One snaps at your approach. You greet him, and he snaps to attention, and he says, "Yes, my lady, how may I be of service?"
Can you please direct me to the library?
Of course. And he actually escorts you to the library, which is down 2 other hallways. And he opens the door and allows you entry. Inside, you see several oil lamps on the center of tables, illuminating the room. At this time, you don't see that there is anyone else in the room. Okay. So what are you looking for?
I'm probably... Would I have enough religious knowledge to kind of know who she is?
To find a what? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear it.
Would I have enough religious knowledge to kind of know who this person was? I'm assuming religious.
Which person?
Raven.
Raven lady.
The Raven lady.
My dream.
Oh, in your dream. Okay, it wasn't a raven. She was just a crone.
Yes.
An elderly woman. Right.
Yes.
You could. It really wouldn't be much of a religion check. Maybe like a local lore. You might be able to find a
Local lore.
local lore.
Yeah. What would I roll for that?
It would be
History?
Yeah, probably history would probably be the best way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a hard no there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not really too sure. It wasn't like there was a name to go by. You just remember the terrible thing about about what you experienced is that you can't get her face out of your mind. Just that was the last thing you saw before she passed, and then of course looking up into the face of her murderer is definitely etched in your mind, and yeah, okay.
Could I look at the books to see if there's anything dealing with like lore and stories?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can pull down, like local histories and things of that nature and go through them. But it will take you probably days of searching.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, I'll just wander back to my room then.
Okay. So, very good. So, who's going back to their rooms?
I retire early.
Okay. Right. So those who are not retiring, who are you? Or is everybody going? Okay. So Kelex, you're staying up. Timble is staying up. Are the rest of you are you staying up also, Tomas? Okay, cool.
He's a celebrity. Of course he's staying.
Encore.
Okay. So those who are returning.
I'm retiring.
Okay. So, Kiffi, you are also retiring. So those who are retiring, once you get to your room, you realize that once you were in there, you notice that there is a new set of clothes that are laid out for you, and there is a note pinned to your pillow, letting you know that you are to be in the Great Hall of Castle Oversight, the actual throne room area, at high noon the next day.
That's not creepy at all.
Uh-huh.
It's not ominous.
All right.
Okay. So those who are staying up, you all kind of watch the rest of the congregation of people who are here. Like I said, there's still some dancing and some, mingling around. People walk up to you and say hello and, thank you for your service and all of this sort of stuff. You actually have a couple of people approach you, Tomas, and ask if you do parties, or, things like that. They're very intrigued by your show.
Kids would love you.
Yeah, so most likely you would be a hit.
I just threw in the chat the book that I learned, the dance moves from, and I refer everyone to that.
Okay, in the chat. Okay.
I'm going to be dancing after.
Oh my gosh.
Brian, I have a question for you.
Sure.
During the meal, I would like to have paid attention to and watched the Elven congregation, the envoy Sylvir, kind of paying attention to him. When does he leave?
He leaves a little bit after the Margrave and Lady Ilia make their way out. But he does. From what you can gather, he may or is not actually staying in the castle. He may have lodgings somewhere else in the city.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of take note of the individuals who come up and take note of us and say their thanks and that sort of thing, and see if there's any notable exits, if you will.
Yeah.
People who just kind of get up in a huff or anything.
No, everybody seems to be in really good and high spirits. Like I said, the only person that you really kind of notice who didn't even approach or didn't even really converse with any of your members is Sylvia, who, of course, he was talking with other people, other lords and ladies who happened to be of the same family line as the Margrave, but he didn't really reach out to any of you or your group.
Is he part of the? Is he? I know he's like royalty. He's not like part of those Vespi Rangers, is he?
No, actually, he is. You don't really know that much about him. You do know he is royalty. You could probably do a little bit of research, but yeah, he's definitely a high-born elven aristocrat and carries himself as such.
Was there any representatives from Sterich here? Anyone of Lady Ilia's house?
If there were, you weren't really too sure.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah. Most likely, if you were going to find out, you would probably just touch base with her, and she would probably, because she would know. Okay, cool. All right. Is anybody else doing anything? Those who are staying up? I know we cut.
Once it's over, I think I will step out.
Okay.
You can do anything.
Are you stepping out and going back to your room, or are you stepping out and going into the city?
Out.
Oh, you're going out. Okay. Okay. I like it. Alrighty. So we'll get back to you in just a minute. Kelex, what were you planning on doing?
I was going to see if I can identify anybody who might be part of the Vespi Forest Guard.
Like I said, really the only elf that you see is Sylvia. Yeah, he seems to. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely of that type, but he is. Like I said, he's been here a little bit. He is an envoy from obviously the Vespi, but you don't know if he's actually a part of any special group that is here. So, any other questions you might have?
I'll approach him.
Okay. Yeah, he looks as though he's gathering his cape and everything and getting ready to leave. So you catch him right as he's about ready to exit the building.
My lord, already leaving.
He just he turns and looks at you and says, "Ah, Captain Kelex, is it?"
Yes, my lord.
He just gives you kind of a smile and he says, "And so how can I help you?"
Oh, I just wanted to introduce myself and, maybe have a conversation. I, recently met someone from, is it Vespi or Vespi?
Vespi.
Vespi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Melder Emberhart.
He kind of looks at you puzzled and he says, the name doesn't seem to ring a bell.
I want to do an insight check.
Sure, of course. Okay. Yeah, his answer is pretty guarded. But you can, as you're kind of reading his face, you're not really picking up on anything that would give a hint that he is not being forthright.
All right. So, that's a shame. A lovely woman. I was just kind of hoping to hear about where. I mean, it wasn't long ago, but I was kind of wondering where her whereabouts might be these days. But if you don't know her,
no, I don't. There are amazingly there are several elves that live in the Vespine.
Oh, and that surname doesn't ring a bell then?
No, not really.
Hmm.
It sounds
Okay,
it sounds almost common. Was she just a forest elf that you fell in love with?
That's personal, but I was just curious to know if you've heard of her whereabouts.
No.
Is he being really smug about this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's being just.
I slide it right.
He's just.
See, this is where I need to be there, and I have the infest cantrip.
Infest cantrip.
Well, I see that you're leaving. Are you going to stay in the city for long, or are you just here for the festivities?
Oh no, I'm actually assigned here by Her Majesty Queen Zan. I'm probably going to be here at least until the end of the war, or if I have to retreat from this place and end up heading home. Hopefully, that will not be the case.
No, I'm sure that won't be the case. Well, that means we'll maybe run into each other again sometime soon.
Oh, I just can't wait. Have a good evening.
I bow and I leave.
He just gives you a very he gives you a curt nod and just turns off and walks out into the night.
All right. And what was? Oh, this was that Silvar guy. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to make a note on my list here. Do not like.
Yeah.
Guys,
have Jarl do the infest cantrip.
Is a little bit of a cunt. That is the description.
Wow. Yikes.
Just a little bit.
Wait a minute. I said shallow cervix and everybody freaks out. He says the C word and nobody says a word.
No, I'm mortified a little bit, but that's okay. It's my stream, so I'm kind of like going, oh.
Well, it is 18 plus, so we're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. And besides, I mean, in Australia, that's kind of like, isn't that in one of their primer books for grade school? It's the C word.
That's how you greet everybody on the street.
Exactly.
All count is person, place, or thing.
Exactly.
In English, it's fat, so.
Give me a C. Yeah, give me a U. Yeah, give me an int. Yeah, give me a...
Oh, Lord. Okay.
You've been waiting to do that all day, haven't you?
So on we go. Okay, so Tomas, what are you doing with the rest of your evening?
Has last call been called yet?
Yeah, probably by the time you finally finish your last, I guess, session.
Display.
But actually, Tomas, you have garnered some attention from actually a handful of people here who are very interested in you. So you actually have you have fans now.
Oh my God!
Go rabbit! Go rabbit! Go rabbit!
So, I mean, I'm almost kind of wondering: are you willing to like multi-class and take a level or two of Bard just to level, just to make it even better?
Worse. Your first thought was right.
If I roll an 18 or higher, I will.
Oh.
I'm the kind of random person that would do that.
Ooh, let's see.
That is Thomas. Or Tomas.
Scion of Chaos.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
Oh my lord, that is hilarious. Oh, please. That was classic. A 19. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Time out here. Time out.
Okay.
Brian,
Okay.
you don't understand about Ed and Bard. We spent a year with Ed as a bard. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, the fact that he is now going to take Bard,
Oh.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. It will never be boring.
It's never been boring anyway, but I'm like, oh no. Okay. Yeah, you rolled a 19. It's gonna
I'd rather
he
thought there was actually some randomness in that. I mean, because when he said, if it's above 18, I'll do it. And I'm like, Ed, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's
a
fate.
sure thing.
It's fate. Fate.
And for the record, we're going to have a bard with a -1 charisma.
Oh, Jesus. Jeez. Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
So, all right, back to where we were.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think we've covered well, no. Tomas, were you planning on doing anything else, or were you just gonna...
No, actually, I mean, he's got his adoring fans, and he gives them his Instagram handle and everything like that, and then he retires for the evening.
Okay.
Setting out. I mean, it's probably closer to morning now.
Yeah.
Probably pretty drunk. Goes up and finds his finery and says, "Noon? Really?"
Oh no. So those who went back to their rooms find these new clothes, and you can see that they're very ornate. And then but then Timble, you did not go back to your room. You decided to head off into the night. What were you up to?
Firstly, I'm going to take the time. Actually, will go to my room, but I need to create a missive for envoy Halldórsson, or however he says his name.
Sylvain. Yeah, Sylvain.
Yeah. I'm going to write something to him.
Okay.
It's immaterial what it is.
Okay.
It's the envelope and as such. And then I'm going to find the captain of the guard's offices.
Okay.
As we have met. I think I can do that.
Yeah.
And I will, whomever's there, I'll ask, do we know where the envoy is staying? I have a missive for him.
He looks through some papers, and he says, "Yeah, aye, sir. Yes, he is actually staying at the Crimson Banner."
Thank you, and I will head that way.
Okay. So you've been to the Crimson Banner before. This is where you initially met Raven.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so by the time that you actually arrive there, you can see that this the Crimson Banner is a very well-known place. It's actually considered upscale. It has very nice rooms, and it has a clientele that is definitely much more upscale than the Wilted Lily. And as you walk in, you're immediately because you're by the time you finally get there, it's a little bit after midnight, and you walk in, and the place is still pretty active. There are still people here. There is a bard who is playing a violin up on the stage. You see Serena that was the tiefling barmaid, is walking around serving drinks, talking with people. So that's what you see when you walk
I'm
in.
going to take a seat and wave Serena over.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you doing?
I'll take a seat and wave Serena over.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, just a few moments pass after she spots you waving over. She comes by and she says, "Well, darling, what would you like this evening?"
Oh, a little information.
Information? That sounds like it could be profitable for me.
There is that. I think you have a very important guest here.
Ah, yes, we do.
He has a room here.
If it is the same, even if it is the elven gentleman that you're talking about, then yes, of course.
20 years indeed.
I'm sorry?
20 years indeed. Yes,
Yes.
that is exactly who I'm speaking of.
She just
So
kind
here
of she just flashes you a smile, and you can see her fangs just sort of glisten in the light of the illumination in the room, and her eyes flash. She says, "Yes, he is quite a pain."
Aloof?
No, he's a pain.
Pain.
What do you need?
Explain.
What do you need of him? I don't particularly like dealing with him. He is very...
Oh, I don't need you to get anything. I just want information about him.
Oh.
He something seems off. So I'm just going with my gut.
Mm-hmm.
You said he's a pain.
Yes.
In what way? Was he very demanding?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? You're stating?
Always. Yes. He is extremely demanding. Almost so that... But I mean, I do understand. He is elvish, and they can be quite... And he's also an aristocrat, so yes, he can be quite...
Doubly damned, yes.
Yeah, he can be quite a handful.
What does the lady that we're both acquainted with think of it?
Oh.
Has she said anything?
Oh, you're talking about Raven.
I am indeed.
Interesting. It seems that the elven aristocrat definitely knows her. I don't know in which regard, but they have been seen together here.
Would the lovely Raven happen to be in tonight?
She thinks since I have not seen her this evening. She was here last night, though.
I'll say this. Tell her that Timble came calling.
She just looks and gives you a smile and
I'll
says,
slide a gold piece over the table to her.
she pockets it and says, "I'll be more than happy to deliver the information that you were looking for her."
And if the good elf becomes too much of a hassle, let me know. I'm staying in the keep, and just let me know.
Of
I'm
course.
sure someone can be down.
Again, she flashes that smile as you see her forked tail sort of just wrap around, around her neck very seductively, as the actual fork of the tail just kind of like moves her shirt a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "I would be more than happy to let you know if he does anything untoward. And she just quickly turns and heads back towards the bar and other patrons.
I'll slip back out.
Okay. Yeah. So you
and head back. I just wanted to find out where he's at.
Yeah. So you slip back out into the night. And are you heading back to the castle, or are you going elsewhere?
Can you go by?
I'm going to take us kind of a circuitous route back to the castle.
Okay.
No, I don't want anyone following me in.
Okay.
So I'm being careful since it's just me.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
Dum 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 dum.
Okay, yeah, you were able to move around quite deftly through the darkness and the alleys and streets, and you make your way back up to your room.
Right.
Yeah. And you open up the door. You can see that there's this clothing that is laid out before you, and you see the little message that is pinned to your pillow. Make a perception check. Okay. Alrighty. So you settle in for the evening, and to sleep. You fall into a very restful kind of. You didn't really partake as heavily in the alcohol as others did. So you fall asleep slowly. Your mind still playing over the events of the evening and what you saw and who you spoke to, while others, out of just sheer exhaustion, Tomas just falls into bed and is out like that. Others, they also take a little bit of time. Yeah. Okay, so the next morning you rise. Like I said, the clothes are sitting there, and Timble, I need you to make another perception check. Okay. So you go ahead and get dressed, and all of you start to. You notice that servants come. Servants come. Hold on a minute. Servants come in. They bring you actual breakfast in your rooms. There's not going to be a breakfast served in the kitchen because it's obviously being used for preparations for this afternoon. So you take in some light fare, and then you. More like a continental breakfast, and you eventually make your way out of your rooms, whatever you plan on doing, but you only have about 3 hours before high noon. Okay, so Timble, you were asking?
I wanted to check my my mouse.
Okay, so you're looking around the room, and you finally spot this little creature sitting on a windowsill, and kind of nestled in its skeletal, rib cage area, is a vial of a dark liquid, and it says, and there's like a little slip of paper on it, and it says, "A little something for your craft." And it looks to be some sort of oil-based liquid. It is thick. Make a perception check with advantage. Okay. What you realize, what you're holding, is some sort of paint. But as you're looking at it, you're thinking this is a type of paint that is not natural. it looks to be made of some sort of materials, liquids that you're not very sure of. And it looks as though it absorbs light. It is so black that it actually absorbs light. And at the end of the note, you see with a sort of a flourish, an R that ends with a flourish.
So what I have gleaned from all of this is we need to make sure that Timble gets arrested every now and then, so he loses all his crap.
No. At some point, I will start sacrificing sorcerers for my crap.
You know, Barnes kind of have sleight of hands, so now I'm going to start picking his pockets now.
I love to see that.
Okay, so is there anything that you wanted to do before you have to appear before the Margrave at noon? Or are you gonna just what is your all's plan? You all kind of meet up.
I need a crossbow, but other than that, we're good.
Okay.
I was going to go. I'll touch upon each of the rooms and make sure everybody's kind of up, getting dressed, ready, and we can all walk down together.
Have you slept at all?
No.
Alex is going to get dressed. He's going to put his nice little boy symbol on his tunic.
Timble, have you slept at all?
I'm sure I've slept.
Yeah.
He said he did.
He did actually. He actually slept some. The person who did not really sleep at all was Tomas. Tomas was totally on fire. So he looks a little worse for wear, but you can see that he probably is not actually hungover. He's actually just still drunk.
Nice.
You know,
That was
It's
something
all over again.
in my life.
and, you know, I don't see that as a bad thing. Do you?
That sounds
I'm
like
trying to figure out. I thought we were playing a fantasy game. Shit.
that's a
It's too
that's a
real.
weak one from
Here,
Timble.
have another glass of mead.
Well, when we do present in court, by the way, I rolled a 19 for a con check, so I'm fine, all you bitches.
Okay.
I sent you my proper title when we get announced at court.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Proper title.
Oh, Lord.
How much time do we have before court?
Do we need proper titles here?
You have about 3 hours left, so it's about 9 o'clock.
Can I go back to the library?
Sure. When you get to the library this time, there's actually an elderly woman who is in there, dressed in black. She has her hair tied back in a really tight bun, and from what you're kind of gathering, she's probably in her late 60s, early 70s, and she is shelving books. And she, once she hears the door open and see you walk in, are you bringing Bubbles with you?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, you walk in with Bubbles, and at first all she sees is Bubbles because Bubbles is kind of big. And she kind of just like backs up against one of the bookshelves and kind of lets out a little shriek. But then she sees that you are actually like, right there, and she goes, "Oh, you gave me quite a fright. How can I help you?"
I don't want to scare the lady.
Too late.
No.
That's when I start throwing dice.
No. Can I describe the prone lady without the blood and gore now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I want to describe the lady in the gem in her eye and see if she knows of any local lore that I could read to find out who this person is.
Okay. So she looks at it and says, "You're looking for a historical figure or someone
describing
quiet?"
she's in the field. She was going her to look at me. This is what her face looked like.
We're paused.
Oh, are we?
We were.
So, what was it?
Sorry, we paused for a moment.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't see it over here. It looked good. Okay, so yeah, she says, can you describe her?
I do to the best of my ability.
Okay.
I didn't remember what you said. Her older lady.
Yep.
One of her eyes was a black gem.
Right.
One not. She's a gardener, and it was in the fairy wood. Fairy.
Interesting. Okay, so there were fey creatures. Interesting.
Yes.
And you sure it wasn't just the normal world and she was somehow fey herself surrounded by these creatures?
I have no idea.
It sounds somewhat familiar, but it doesn't sound like someone that I know. Hold on one moment. And she reaches over and pulls it looks to be an old a book. And she is going through some of the pages, and she says, you said there was a garden. Was there a house, a fence, anything? And so she turns the book and slides it over to you, and you see this picture, and you immediately recognize the fence around the garden. And you're like, yeah, and you point to it and go,
that's what I've seen.
Okay. So she just says, wait a minute, where did you see this? What was it close?
It's in a dream.
And what happened in this dream?
I don't want to tell you.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Coward.
Okay. Coward. She says, okay, understandable. I understand people don't like to share their dreams sometimes.
The lady was nice.
Okay. He said, here, read this and see if it maybe will jar your memory a little bit more. Maybe these are the answers that you're seeking.
I'm sorry?
She said, read, yes, take your time, read into this passage here and see if it answers the questions you're seeking.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you sat down with the book and you're going through it, and as you're doing it, it almost kind of plays back into what you saw. But yes, there is definitely an older woman, deeply wrinkled, but she definitely has this magical air to her. And yes, there are fey creatures like sylphs and actual fairies that are like a light in the trees. And what this is actually from like a folklore of this region. And it is a woman. Her name is Mob, Maab. And she is a interesting sort of fey creation, but she's rarely seen on the prime material plane. She's usually truly a creature of the fairy world, of the Feywild. This, of course, is also very disturbing to you because what you remember from your dream, that obviously the murderer in the dream has the ability to either make his or her way into the land of the Fae to get what he or she wants.
Okay. But this is not... Do I think that the dream really happened, or do I think it's a prediction?
You feel that it's a prediction. That it is
Okay.
that if you remember on the wall of the temple, it is a temple of prophecy. So you're thinking that this is things that are going to come to pass. They have not passed yet.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Close the book. Thank you, good mother, for your time.
She gives you a quick smile, and she says, "I'm glad that I can help you. Come back anytime."
Without bubbles.
Yeah, she's a little taken back by Bubbles. Bubbles is a little imposing. Okay, yes, as time passes, you finally assemble yourselves and get ready. When you arrive at the hall's great doors, you're greeted by Captain Gravelheart. He's dressed in shining plate mail, and a ceremonial sword hangs from a baldric at his side. And he says, "You look sharp, lads and lasses." He looks you over, satisfied with his review, and he opens the massive doors to the hall. The great hall has been transformed from the rowdy venue of the feasting into a regal court once again. Light spilling into the room from the massive multicolored windows. People dressed in their finery stand before the dais where Margrave Llangren and Lady Ilia stand waiting. The hall goes quiet as you enter. You approach the dais and and what are you planning on doing?
Queen of air and darkness.
Are we properly announced as we come in?
You're not really announced. Everyone was expecting you, and so you are you're just brought. You just walk in as a group, and so as you approach the dais that the Margrave and Lady Illy are, what are you doing?
Back one.
I guess we walk up. I guess we bow.
3.
Okay.
Each.
All right. So you.
I don't want to know your PIN number.
Okay. So the Margrave approaches and waits for you to stand back, up from your bow, and he says,
Do not be mean.
So those who are assembled here today, note and take heed of the magnanimous nature that I possess. And at that point in time, he immediately turns, and Angus presents another sword, not the one that he is holding, but a long sword. That has gold inlays on the handle and pommel, and he says, "If you will do so at this time, take a knee."
I kind of look at everybody else, and I take a knee.
I'm taking a knee.
Can't hear you, Ed. You're muted.
I do have an interjection because I'm from another country of bizarro nobility, however you want to look at it.
Bizarro nobility. I love it.
How would that be looked upon? And Russ, from an SCA standpoint, if you're granted some title from another kingdom, how does that work?
No. No. As a matter of fact, I'm not taking a knee either. The only person that can knight me is my brother.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kiffi is not doing this.
And Brian's like, okay, here we go.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a question of loyalties. Well, I may be a part of the army of Bissell, however I might have gotten there. My loyalty is to my clan. My clan lord is my brother.
Yep.
And likewise, knowing how court works and things like that, you can receive investments, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you could accept a knighthood like a Knight of the Garter or something like that, Russ.
No, I can accept honors. I cannot accept orders.
Well, okay. Yeah, because the order actually swears the oath.
I can't swear to this king, to this Margrave. Will not swear to this Margrave. It's not in me to do so.
Yay, we're causing political issues in a minute.
Oh, just wait till I figure out Fireball. Then we're all screwed.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, of course, you don't have to. You were not commanded to. You were saying if you would please, and so yeah, he definitely understands. He is a person of nobility and does understand that some of you have loyalties that lie outside of his realm.
Just one real quick question: what's the alliance currently with the yeomanry? Because I think if I can accept an honorarium, because I just looked up, I just used Admiral Nelson as an example, and he got a bunch of titles from other countries.
Right.
Yes, but Nelson was different. If you accept a knighthood from Bissell, you are of Bissell.
All right, we're good. I'll abstain.
Overthink this.
So yeah, so as
guys, look at it this way: in the end, there can only be one king. Who's your king?
My clan leader is my king.
Bingo.
right, but see, we're like Kelex and Grenna are actually from this land, and they are actually tied to the military here, not just by fealty. They're a part of this land. This is their place. Timble, I'm not really too sure. Were you also of this land also, or are you from a different location? But you don't really have a lot of allegiances to anyone, I believe. Right. Okay.
So I do have one allegiance.
Okay.
And that person does fill one of the chairs.
Of course. Okay. So again, you don't have to, but if you do take the knee, then
I'll take the knee.
Okay.
No problems with that.
Okay, so Timble, Kelex, Grenna, you take the knee as the others step back one from you. The Margrave, of course, nods with reverence to you gentlemen for your choice and completely understands. And he brings forth the sword. First he comes to you, Kelex, and he says, and for faithful service, you, Kelex, I now name you Sir Kelex. And he brings the sword down, right, left, right, and he said, "Rise, Sir Kelex." And he says, and with that, you are also granted the title of Major.
Ooh.
So now you're no longer Captain Kelex, you are now Major Kelex. He then steps over to Grenna, and he says, and with the power granted upon me by by the gods and goddesses above. And then he also lays, rise, Lady Grenna Babbleboots.
Ooh,
And
you outright.
and you have now also been given the title of lieutenant. So you're no longer a sergeant anymore.
No, she's a lady.
She's
a lady.
Yeah.
She
Lady
outranks
Grenna.
Kelly.
She's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa! She's a lady.
Well, it's kind of, yeah. Then he steps over, and as he steps over to you, Timble, he also says, "And by the power given to me by the gods and goddesses above," he said, "You, sir, you, Timble, are now Sir Timble Snivenblaven. Rise." And he says, "My good lady fair has asked that I also give you some sort of title other than sir. And so I have decided to name you my court spy. Do you accept this?"
I do, but this is a bit public to be speaking of something.
Do not fear. The only people you have to worry about here are them. And he just sort of chuckles a little bit. And as you hear, like, there's some chuckling and stuff. And, but you can see behind him, Lady Ilya looks deadly serious. She is not smiling and she is not laughing. But she is looking right at you. Okay. So he steps back and he hands the blade back to Angus, and he says,
Angus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Angus was the one who brought forth the sword that is being used, and he says, "And for you, gentlemen, who have allegiances elsewhere, I also have something for you as well. I know that you do not hold this land in any great love, but that is fine. And so with that, I would like to at least give you each 300 gold pieces for your service." And then he looks back to Kelex and Grenna and Timble and for your service, I give you each 20 acres of land to do as you wish. Build your homes, settle your families, bring prosperity to this great land.
Margrave, while I appreciate the offer,
You'll humbly accept it.
no, Margrave, while I appreciate the gold, I cannot accept it.
And he says,
"Everything I have done in the service of my friends. I fought for Bissell because it was the right thing to do. I cannot accept gold, which would make me a mercenary for something that was right."
He just looks at you and says, truly a friend of this magnitude, I tip my hat to you, sir. Well spoken. You are a credit to your people. Is there anything that I can do for you to show my gratitude?"
We of the Cold Lands know what it is to do right and of loyalty. If Bissell has needs of me, just call.
Excellent. Thank you. He said, "You heard it here, folks. That this emissary from the lands to the north, to the Cold Lands, is truly a friend, not just of his comrades here, but of Bissell itself. Truly, a vision to send before us all, and to that we can appreciate such loyalty, even in the face of different regional allegiances. Thank you, Yarn. Very nice. He said, well, with that being done, let's celebrate. And you hear a huzzah go up from the crowd. The doors are once again open. And you can actually, as you start getting, you see that the crowd is actually spilling out into the street beyond the walls, and people are celebrating. You can hear people, clapping, and it's really kind of a major sort of thing that you've done. I mean, you were able to actually single-handedly rescue the Margrave. And a lot of you are sitting here going, this just seems a little over the top. But some of you think, yeah, we might have actually saved this country by freeing the Margrave.
We were lucky as hell. We were lucky as hell. We were fortunate to get back to where we were supposed to be, when we were supposed to be, with the stuff we were supposed to have.
Yeah, if Kelex had his way, we'd have died in there.
Bad Kelex. No donut.
So, as you guys are leaving, as you guys are kind of following the crowd out of Castle Oversight, just enjoying the day as you see. Kelex, a young woman, wearing just simple clothing, with wearing almost kind of like a peasant apron. She walks up next to you and quickly slips a piece of paper into your hand, and then just immediately blends into the crowd.
Okay. Run far, run fast. It might just be enough.
And I just want to tell Grenna, I found the Margrave first. So,
nice.
I'm sorry.
I opened the piece of paper.
Okay.
Who had the keys?
Okay. So it says, dear sirs and lady, word has spread of your great deeds, and my humble village is in great need of your aid. Please consider our plight and come to our rescue. Meet me at the Crimson Banner Inn at midnight.
Yeah, it's the village of Hamlet all over again.
Oof.
At least the letter didn't say, hi, Dad.
I'm in jail.
And it says, at the end, it says, thank you, Lily Nelst is the name printed at the bottom.
All right. I think we found our next adventure. Woo!
Okay. And with that, I think we're going to close up shop for the evening. So once again, thank you guys very much for hanging out and playing. I know we didn't get into any combat this evening. It was a very roleplay heavy night, but it needed to be done. So,
Did I get my crossbow?